entrance to the boss of the place. Here he comes now. Sayyid Ibrahim Pasha.
Sayyida Zulika. Now, look, mister, we need to... Let me handle this, Jack. Mister, me like 'em, buy 'em, gold filigree. Very, very cheap. Savvy? Very interesting. You're an American Indian, I presume. Larry, let me talk. I'm going to do the buying. Now, mister, what can I get here that's a real souvenir of Egypt? Gentlemen, you name it, we've got it. I sell everything here from scarabs to camels. Oh, say, camels, that's an idea. You know, with the shortage of gasoline and everything, maybe I ought to buy a camel. Very good, sir. 1 hump for 2. Is there a difference? Oh, yes. You see, a 1-hump camel can go 7 days without a drink. A 2-hump camel can go 30 days. I see. Well, what does he keep in his second hump? Dry ice. Oh. You know, Benny can go without a drink indefinitely. Yes. Of course, sooner or later, somebody buys him one. Larry, then, mister, your advice would be... Oh, definitely the 2-hump camel. The trade-in value is so much better. Oh, certainly. That's a very important point to consider. I mean, a man of my position couldn't afford to be seen riding down Hollywood Boulevard on last year's camel. Larry just wouldn't get on one. Tell me, is a camel easy riding? Mr. Benny, after 7 years in the Maxwell, even a bronco camel would be a pleasure. Understand. I'll take the 2-hump camel. Now, where shall I deliver it? At Shepherd's Hotel, care of Mr. Adler. I'll pick it up in the morning. Well, goodbye, sir. Goodbye, and thank you very much. Goodbye, Miss Zulika. Thanks for your trouble.
You're welcome, I'm sure.
Come, Larry. Let us away. Okay, Jack. I think we made a good buy. Yeah. Gosh, what a colorful street this is. Really? Listen to that. That's real native music. Just what you came over here to get. Hey, let's follow this guy. Cocktails for 2. Well, what do you know? Larry, come here. Larry, what kind of a singer is that? I don't know. Hey, Ismail, what kind of a singer is that? I don't know. Hey, Abdullah, what kind of a singer is that? I don't know. Hey, son! Never mind. It's not important. I'll look in the guidebook. My goodness.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we leave the bazaar of ancient, mysterious Egypt. But who knows? Someday we may return. The East is inscrutable. Inshallah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the big news last week was Italy's surrender. Here is a first-hand account of the invasion that preceded the surrender by probably the first American reporter to set foot on enemy Europe. Collier's war correspondent, Frank Gervasi.
Thanks, Jack. But first, before I talk about my work, let's talk a little about yours. I've just returned from a battle, but you've just come back from watching men work who make battles and victories possible. The men who keep the weapons and munitions rolling into Russia.
Yes, Frank, we've just come back from the Persian Gulf. To read about our supplying Russia is one thing. To see our boys unloading ships, loading trucks, and driving them over a nightmare version of the Burma Road in a heat often as high as 170 degrees, well, that's a reality.
Thank you very much, Jack Benny. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to a special broadcast by the one and only Jack Benny, direct from Egypt, where Jack has been entertaining our troops. Jack will be back soon in Hollywood. Others appearing with him today on this unusual broadcast were Larry Adler and his harmonica, Anna Lee of the screen, and Winnie Shaw, the well-known young singer. This broadcast came to you from Cairo, Egypt, and New York. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Well, we're done with the second part of this episode, and coming up in just a moment will be show number 3. One more thing to talk about the Jack Benny Show and that particular episode. In the months to come, around the following January, On the show, Jack will receive a special delivery, his camel. The camel joins his collection of other exotic pets, which includes an ostrich and, of course, the polar bear known as Carmichael. Now, while preparing for this week's program of Joe's Retro Radio, I made an amazing, in my opinion anyway, discovery. Reports of a radio show in which Laurel and Hardy were planning to do a radio show for NBC, but it never got off the ground. However, they did record a pilot program, and it was thought to be lost for almost 70 years, but was recently discovered. Now, this was recorded on March 6, 1944. As I said, the show was never aired. NBC never pursued a series, and the recording was, as I said, seemingly forgotten. The show is finally available, and it's quite fascinating to hear Laurel and Hardy, unaccustomed as they are to performing before a radio audience. But it's also a great opportunity to hear them live before their days of touring Europe. The premise of the series is a good one. Each week, Stan and Oliver muck up a new job, but the plot of the only episode ever recorded, Mr. Slater's Poultry Market, is pure Abbott and Costello. Stan and Ollie's job with Mr. Slater is to kill and deliver chickens. Arriving at the wrong address, they are mistaken by a gang of mobsters, or a mob of gangsters, who are expecting two anonymous killers for hire, recognizable only by their black derbies, which of course they were known for wearing. Caught in a police raid, the boys are grilled mercilessly by the cops, who are exasperated to the point of insanity by the duo's naive stupidity. Now, unlike Laurel and Hardy's only other available radio appearance, The Wedding Night, Mr. Slater's Poultry Market, was obviously not written by Stan. The show has the stamp of 20th Century Fox writers all over it. The boys encounter a series of 1940s comedy stereotypes, beginning with Mr. Slater, a bombastic Mr. Mooney type. When Slater launches into an agitated tirade, calling the boys, "You nincompoops, you stupid blunderheads, you idiotic, you get the idea." Well, Stan helpfully adds morons, and the gangsters are generic tough talkers, ditto for the cops. Okay? Now, the whole show is a comedy of errors based on verbal misunderstandings. Typical is this exchange when the boys first arrive at the gangster's hideout. Gangster number one says, "You mean you killed that Boyd already?" Stan said, "Sure, about an hour ago." Gangster number two says, "Do you kill him with a regular 45 rod?" Ollie says, "Oh, no, sir. On this one we used a standard 14-inch butcher knife." Well, later in jail, the cops have equal difficulty getting to the bottom of things. Told to talk, the boys debate about what to talk about. In order to start singing, they launch into Mersey Dotes, a gag lifted from A Haunting We Will Go. And incidentally, the boys are in full Fox MGM mode here, being far dumber than necessary, as when they treat their jail cell as a luxury hotel, ordering room service, asking for an extra key, etc. The big difference here is that Stan and Babe and the audience seem to be having a load of fun during the recording session. When Stan muffs a line, the audience reacts, and Stan playfully ad-libs. Earlier, he elaborates on a line and starts Babe laughing. And as his rendition of Mersey Dotes is just plain silly, their enthusiasm in the face of a lame script actually makes the show a lot of fun to listen to. While it's disappointing that this discovery didn't bring forth a forgotten classic, Mr. Slater's Poultry Market is an intriguing curiosity with a lot of merit to it. It's certainly much better than any of the Fox films, and proves that Stan and Babe could have succeeded on radio. So when the show ends with the boys out of work and the announcer announcing right in front of them is Morton's Plumbing Shop, I wonder if they can get a job. The real disappointment is knowing we'll never find out. But we can always imagine. And now, without further delay, never before broadcast on radio, you're going to hear it for the first time from March 6, 1944. Here's Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy and Mr. Slater's Poultry Shop.
The National Broadcasting Company presents The Laurel and Hardy Show. on the home front, a pledge is being taken, a pledge that'll stamp out the black market once and for all. This is the pledge. I will pay no more than top legal prices. I will accept no ration goods without giving up ration points. Now, this simple statement, a pledge already taken by 15 million Americans, is helping to do these three important things. It will automatically kill the black markets. It'll ensure a fair share of food for all, civilians, fighting men, and fighting allies, and it'll help keep down the cost of living. If you are one of the 15 million Americans who've already taken this pledge, then live up to it. If you haven't, take the pledge now. Share and play square. It's the American way. Laurel and Hardy have decided to embark upon new careers, and now they are working for Mr. Slater's poultry market. In this way, the boys are doing their bit to relieve the manpower shortage. That is, if you can consider Laurel and Hardy manpower.
Miss Smith,
Yes, Mr. Slater.
where's Laurel and Hardy?
You sent them out to deliver a chicken.
But that was hours ago, and this is one of my busiest days.
I can't understand why they're not back yet, Mr. Slater.
What can anybody understand about Laurel and Hardy? This is a fine how do you do. With everything else to contend with, now I've got to send 2 men to deliver 1 chicken.
I know what you mean, Mr. Slater.
Well, as soon as they get back, send them in to me.
Ollie. Yes, Stanley? I bet Mr. Slater will be pleased with the way we handled this job. He certainly will. That Mr. Cunningham couldn't put anything over on us. I should say not. Here's Mr. Slater's poultry market now. Let's go in and tell him all about it.
Miss Smith, where are those 2 boobs?
Ollie, I think Mr. Slater is looking for us.
Oh, there you are. Well, did you deliver the chicken?
Of course, sir. Did you have any doubts?
Plenty. And did you collect the money for the chicken like I said?
Oh, we did much better than that.
Oh, so you did better than that?
Yeah, go ahead and tell him, Ollie.
Yes, go ahead. Tell me.
Mr. Cunningham thought that he could outsmart us. But we were very much too clever for him.
So you were too clever for him, huh? Well, just what did you do?
Well, Mr. Cunningham insisted on charging the chicken.
Charge it? I distinctly told you his credit is no good. And you let him sign for it again.
Oh, no, we didn't. He wanted to sign for it, but he couldn't fool us. I signed for it myself.
You signed for it?
And remember the $16 he owed you for the other chickens?
This is going to be good.
Sure. We added it all up together.
And you signed for that, too.
Exactly. Now, what do you think of us, Mr. Slater? I bet you thought we couldn't do it.
You nincompoops, you stupid blunderheads, you idiotic, you...
Morons.
I had a feeling when I hired you that I'd regret it the rest of my days.
Oh, we work nights, too.
Now listen to me, you mental midgets. I'm going to give you one more chance. The customer is waiting for this chicken, but if you come back without the money, I'll break every bone in your head.
In a cheap, smoke-filled hotel room on the east side are 3 sinister men. These men are dangerous criminals, wanted by every police department in the land. The air is tense. The men pace nervously, their faces grim, as they await the arrival of 2 hired killers from out of town.
Auntie ought to be here by now. I wonder what's keeping them.
All right. Take it easy with you, Mike. They'll be here.
I don't get it. What's the chief importing these 2 killers for? Hey, we've been doing all right.
Now, look, you guys, this is a special job. That's why the chief is bringing in these torpedoes.
Yeah, didn't we wipe out the Murphy mob? What's the matter with that?
Yeah, but this is different. The chief don't want no slip-ups on this one. These guys rubbed out Louis Kerrigan.
You mean these are the guys that bumped off Kerrigan?
Yeah, and the cops couldn't find a clue either.
What do they look like, Cobra?
Are you